The second stage for strategic planning for schools and educational organizations is future trends and needs. No strategic planning process will be complete without consideration of future trends and needs. More than any other organization, schools and districts must be future-oriented. The knowledge, skills, attitudes, and beliefs that are given to students will still be used in daily life and the workforce 50 years from now. The following presentation I will speak about activities for identifying future needs. It will be in two parts. Local trends, providing a number of activities to examine trends in the local community that may impact on a school, and global trends, which encourages planners to look beyond the borders of their schools and districts to identify broader trends that may impact on education. I will touch on the following areas. Part A, local trends, food for thought, key community indicators, sidewalk sampler, rating future needs, a parent survey. Part B, global trends, Delphi project, TAP, TV/social media monitoring. The objective of this exercise is to gather data on future directions and trends in the local community that may impact on educational needs, and to raise awareness of the staff potential and the impacts of future trends and encourage staff to consider these as well as present status when planning change. As a result, there should be a detailed list of local community trends and increase staff and community awareness of the importance of those, and an increased interest in an ongoing review and discussion of future directions. You can see there are 2 pages to the crystal ball process. Page 1 you see here, page 2. First of all, you make copies of the sentence completions that you see on the screen and run extra copies for those taking part. Secondly, calculate how many groups you will have if you divide your participants into groups of 5 or 6. Prepare an envelope for each group that contains the full set of the sentence completions cut into strips so they can be drawn from the envelope individually. For groups of 5 or 6, distribute an envelope containing a full set of the sentence completions, that for each group. Ask members of the group to select a volunteer to go first. Have a volunteer draw a slip from the envelope and complete the sentence. When they complete the sentence, they have the option of adding a rationale or just simply finishing, and pass the process to the next person to repeat the steps. Process continues in a clockwise direction around the table, so everyone has several opportunities to complete sentences. Stop the activity once everyone has had the opportunity, and provide everyone with a copy of the complete list of sentence completions. Ask someone to share particularly good answers, the whole room, and thank them for their participation. Exercise 2 is called Food for Thought. The objective of this exercise is to understand how members of the community feel about global issues and develop a relationship and rapport with community members. You first of all review the questions and interview sheet or revise them as appropriate, as you see the instructions on the screen. You discuss with volunteers the type of people to be interviewed, and it's a good idea to select a cross section. Ask them to make calls in the evening and bring back reports within a 2-week span. Call participants and ask if they will take part. Then mail the food for thought preparation sheet you see on the screen immediately after contact. When the areas are completed, collate the data for review. Now I've got the food for thought prep sheet, and you can see as well the questions that go along with it that you'll send out to individuals and you will speak to over the phone. Exercise 4, Sidewalk Sampler. This exercise is designed to get a general sense of the top of the line concerns of the interview population. It's important to practice listening without bias to varied logical, illogical, and political issues that may come forth. It's important to be aware of bias in selection of the population you interview. So try to interview 15 to 20 people chosen from not more than 5 friends and neighbors. strangers old enough to be out of the school system, and not more than 5 students who are not in the staff member's class. Ask for about 10 minutes of their time to discuss questions related to education, and tell them you want to get ideas from people who are concerned about the future of schools. Find a quiet spot, interview people, encourage them to extend their answers. Don't restrict them to yes or no, but engage in as much discussion so you can complete the survey and avoid leading the person that you're interviewing. When you've completed the survey, analyze the open-ended questions for similarities and differences. You can see there are 2 parts to the survey, part 2, part 1 on the screen, and the scores can range from maximum, minimum, average score. That will give you a rough indicator that can be used for discussion. Ask yourself how you personally reacted to responses and on which points. And there are variations, of course, in this exercise. You can select the homogeneous population concerned about a particular issue. It can be all students, only parents, of elementary or secondary kids, random passerbys on the street. You decide. Have several people conduct the same questionnaire in various parts of the city. Compare the results. And you can also add your own issues of interest to questions that are on the sheet. Exercise number 5, rating future needs, a parent survey. This exercise presents practices as perceived by parents that can provide useful information for future planning. The objective is to gain information from the parents to help you with your future planning at the school within their particular community. Asked several teachers to review the questions as you will see on the screen. There are, as you can see, there are 2 pages questions, and encourage them to make them more relevant to the local community. Some may not be. Prepare a cover letter claiming the purpose and a date for completion. Select 5% of parents from each class and mail out the questionnaires. When they come back, tabulate the results, and in a planning session, assess the responses in relation to the school's present situation that's currently not addressed and the order of importance for future planning. The student population in your school has changed in recent years. If it's changed, you may want to administer the questionnaire only to parents of students who have enrolled in the past 2 years. You can hold a follow-up meeting for the respondents to provide them with feedback on the results and recruit them to be involved in future planning sessions. We are now moving to Part B, Global Trends, and I will speak to the Delphi method, often used to identify educational issues. It's a tool for short-term forecasting and very useful for planning and productive purposes. It relies on a panel of experts who are asked to complete a series of questionnaires related to their expert opinions. The objective is to gain consensus from the experts on important issues facing education, to ascertain priorities for education for planning in the future. What you will need to do is obtain names and addresses from such areas like the Ministry of Education, presidents of national and international companies, the principals and presidents of universities and colleges, ministers of trade and commerce, energy, mines, resources, education, school principals, trustees or chairmen of local boards, heads of teacher federations. So there are a number of people out there that should be able to give you some good feedback. You prepare a governing letter outlining the process of collecting information and asking questions that you'll see in questionnaire 1 on the sheet. From the responses, choose issues most frequently mentioned. Mail the second questionnaire that you see here, asking the respondents to reformulate their opinions with the knowledge of the group's viewpoints in mind. Ask them to rate the issues and to say briefly the reasons for their choices. Summarize the responses and mail a third questionnaire you see here, asking to review the issues and trends and write comments about their ratings. Analyze the results and review the issues and trends and place them in a high priority for what you wish to do. So again, you can see, I'll go through these again. There's the original, here's one follow-up, 2, 3, so that you've got all of the information. Exercise number 2 under Global Trends, Trends Analysis Program, TAP. During World War II, the process of TAP It was called content analysis and was used as a way of gathering intelligence information. The use of content analysis continues to be used today. The purpose of the trends analysis program is to review a wide variety of articles in print and in print media for general or global trends that may have an impact on an educational system or school. Because of the massive amount of information available, you really need a committee of volunteers who like to do these things and to share responsibility for monitoring likely publications and summarizing trends that are emerging. Volunteers should be encouraged to review magazines, books, computer programs, television, and any other media that may deal with future-oriented issues. You will find on the screen a summary form for recording relevant trends, and you can see it gives you an idea of where to go, what might be available, the parts, and the summary that you make when you've gathered information and you've written it up and you want to make it available to staff. Volunteers are encouraged to complete these whenever they find an article that outlines future issues or directions that might impact education. These volunteers could have a place on the staff meeting agenda each month to provide any new information they may have found, and also be given a central area where they can place a binder that has a written report where staff at their leisure can read it and absorb it. Exercise 3, TV, social media trends, monitoring the future. Media, of course, one of the most powerful influences on students and society. Careful analysis of programs communicate present trends and future directions that must be looked at for planning purposes. The objective of this exercise is to analyze present trends and future directions as viewed by media and to all stakeholders in the planning process. Participants' comments will be able to be collected on these trend sheets, and there are several here. There are 6. So let me go through. You can see it's a fairly lengthy assessment. Ask volunteers from several groups like staff, students, community to take part in this. They must be able to give you 3 hours of conscious viewing time, which means paying attention to the process and the themes that they're looking at as well. After 2 weeks, collect the common sheets and collate the results and distribute them to the participants. Now, there are variations. Participants can be drawn from homogeneous groups rather than simply some from staff, some from students, some from the community. There can be a focus for a discussion group from these homogeneous groups, which leads to recommendations to curriculum planning or media programming. Participants can be instructed to watch only educational or only entertaining or only informative programming to narrow the field if you wish to do that.